Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Safety is personal, and for that reason, it is the one need of every Belizean that requires the most honesty. In fact, our security is worn on our sleeves. It is the gateway to the things we love the most: our families, our communities, our happiness. A recent survey found that 84% of Belizeans feel far less safe than they did 12 years ago. We deserve to feel safe again. We deserve to be sure that criminals will be punished while law-abiding citizens will be free to enjoy our Belize without fear. The next PUP government must focus on walking us up to high ground. The UDP policy can best be described as insensitive and extremist. In one word, failure. A safe society is measured by our own expectations, how we make decisions as to where we walk, what time to be in bed, being terrified of traveling to Belize City from the districts, monitoring gang violence, or just soaking in the hour of bad news at 6:30. Crime and threats to our security are not statistics. Safety is not a uniform or a job for some stranger. It is the difference between tears, loss, and funerals. Sure, there is no foolproof plan against criminals. But even for the worker riding the regular bus home, he may not know the solution to the crime problem, but he can surely identify what is not the solution. To address a problem, we first have to be clear as to what the current problem is. The details of our successful crime strategy, which returns us to a safer society, must first identify the failure of the past UDP administration. The UDP lost to crime and violence. The most accurate summary as to why the UDP lost that battle to crime is the issue of trust. They carried out a sustained policy of distrust. First, they removed the social stakeholders from around the table. They did this by making the Crime Control Council defunct. That council included the business sector, bar association, the NGO community, and the churches. The UDP government refused to believe that this fight is a collective struggle. This administration removed the trust in judges, using a barrage of public criticisms and ultimately causing the deformation of the justice system, attacking the security of tenure of those judges. The UDP did not trust the citizenry and disbanded the use of juries in significant criminal trials, and with lazy abandon, they tried to sell it by saying our citizens were cowards. They no longer trusted our police force and unleashed the brutal GSU on the people. We remember the lack of trust in the quality of investigations and police work when this outgoing UDP government insisted that entire households, including grandmothers, were guilty if a single bullet was found in the yard. The UDP did not even trust their own politicians. With a former deputy commissioner in their party, they did not trust him with the Ministry of National Security. They stopped trusting magistrates and took away, bit by bit, the jurisdiction of the magistrates and their powers in bail. Trust, however, requires competence and an honesty which was not a feature of the last 12 years of the UDP administration. In fact, the budget for the judiciary remained at a disgraceful low of less than 1% of the overall budget, while serving up a dismal 3% conviction rate. The UDP simply did not put their money where the violence of their mouth was. The heaviness and pain of crime has spread across Belize. Despite the ready attention given to Belize City, which still dominates the media attention of our country, criminal violence has become a reality in every community, village, and town. Where do we go? How do we intend to restore that trust in Belize's safety? The truth is, There is no shortcut or quick fix to turn the tables on crime. Solutions that work must be built on a sensitive formula of short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. We must innovate and revolutionize. We must think, unthink, and rethink our security ideals. The next PUP government pledges to double the budget of the judiciary. We will ensure that our judges are returned their independence, unshackled from the political bosses, with transparent appointments of qualified and experienced judges and magistrates. We have mapped out a retooling exercise to modernize the rules of the courts to maximize efficiency and access to justice. It is our commitment that Belizeans must get sure and faster justice. A greater budget for the translates to more magistrates and judges, speedier disposition of matters, the establishment of a night court to deal with minor offenses, traffic violations, and civil suits under $1,000. We undertake to provide a full technological and infrastructural upgrade of the justice system to utilize best practices of available technology. Surely, the police department remains a central force in any citizen security transformation. We plan to take the leap back to a safer society by smart, effective policing and increasing neighborhood watches. In Caribbean shores, we have seen the results of effective neighborhood watch groups like the Kings Park Knights, the Home Park Neighborhood Watch Group, and the Buttonwood Bay Family Group. I take this opportunity to thank all those residents who continue to take ownership of the safety of their community seriously. It is not reasonable to expect that police officers will be everywhere all at once, and so they must trust the information and concerns coming out from those who care about their community the most, the residents themselves. This partnership between the police and the residents must be allowed to flourish, with resources allocated to watch groups and greater trust and reliance placed in the hands of our law-abiding citizens. Because we maintain our confidence and trust in the virtue of the Belizean citizen, our approach to policing is focused on innovation and attack of the root causes of crime. We pledge to recharge and reboot our police department, dramatically increasing its ranks to 4,000 officers. The recruitment will have as its aim the restoration of confidence in the department through depoliticized systems grounded on adequate training, merit-based promotions, and police reform. The largesse of next-generation technology in policing will be unlocked, including the use of face recognition camera systems, drone technology, biometrics, DNA advancements, and fully integrated computer systems to ensure the connectivity of police intelligence. Yes, a fully functional forensic lab promised by the UDP administration in 2008 must be finally at the disposal of crime-fighting agents in the country. The single unsolved case of Anisha Young serves as a constant reminder of the gross handicap that we as a country face in not having our own DNA lab. The new PUP government will make good on its promise to disband the GSU and demilitarize the police while introducing more effective measures to arrest the gangs and gang-related activities. We recognize that the landscape and frontiers of criminal activity has rapidly expanded, and as a result, the PUP plans to give muscle to a formidable cyber crime fighting effort with appropriate and effective provision for the prosecution of offenders to keep Belizeans protected from bullying, revenge, and modern cyber-related crimes. We have experienced as a nation firsthand the ineffectiveness of laws and law enforcement, and as a result, we pledge to refocus resources and expertise to suppress disturbances to the public order rather than petty misdemeanors. The new PUP government pledges to revitalize the Belize Defense Force and Belize Coast Guard by ensuring that they are adequately equipped with means of mobility and weaponry. We will modernize and reform the command structure with an emphasis on efficiency, equal rights and accountability within the ranks. Justice, we recognize, is a collective effort. It demands a return to a place of honesty, where the success of our safety efforts is directly dependent on the sense of community. Ultimately, because no one can legislate morality, the Drexel Deal quote is important to remind us that it all starts and ends with family and community. He observed that, as human beings, we are geniuses. What we didn't get from the home, we find ways of getting elsewhere. It's evident then, when one looks at the stats, we don't have a teenage pregnancy problem, and we don't have a street gang problem. I will even suggest that we don't have a drug and alcohol problem, nor do we have a crime problem. Rather, these are only the symptoms that we are experiencing, and the real problem is broken homes that result in broken lives. Our Safe Society plan is empty without the partnership and spirit of community. That we need you, and that you are the drivers. That the law-abiding citizens are not imprisoned in their homes by the fear, violence, injustices, and crime, but that we can take back our families, our streets, our happiness, and our safety. We all know the pain of losing a child, a parent, a friend, or a colleague to senseless crime and violence. I ask that you call their names and let us work together so that we do better going forward toward a safe society with justice.